Polly here with Cut at Home. Today I'm going to show you how I make a birthday card box. First of all, I started with a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and I've trimmed it to be 11 1/4. I'm going to use my scoreboard, and I'm going to score it at 3 3/4 on the first side. Then I'll just rotate my paper and score it at 3 3/4 again. Rotate it again, score it at 3 3/4. And rotate it again and score it at 3 3/4. And you'll have a nice scored sheet of cardstock. The next thing I do is get a ruler and an X-Acto knife, and I cut out the 4 corner pieces. You can use your trimmer too to cut out the 4 corner pieces, but I find an X-Acto knife works better for me. Just make sure you cut right on the score lines. And then you'll continue to do that for all 4 corners. So I've cut out all 4 corners. My cardstock looks like this. And it's going to fold up this way on the score lines to make a box. Now what I do when I make these boxes, I reinforce everything. For one thing, I've used the Bezill Bling for my box base. And I would like the inside to be nice and blingy like the outside. So the 4 squares that I just cut out, I will glue or adhere to the inside of the box so that it reinforces the sides. So now I've glued all the insides on the box, and then for the center I cut a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 in the other color that I'm using because I want a little bit of variation. You may have to cut this a little tiny bit smaller than 3 3/4 because you want to make sure the box is going to be able to fold up like this. Once we get the lid created, you'll see how it will hold together, and then when you open the box, it'll fall open. We're going to make the lid for the box. For the lid, you want to cut it a piece of cardstock 5 7/8 inches. Once you get that cut, you're going to get out your scoring board again, and you're going to score it at 1 inch. Turn it, score it at 1 inch. Turn it again, score it again at 1 inch. And for the final. Now all you do for the lid is you're going to fold the sides. You're also going to take a pair of scissors. You're going to cut up the center and cut an edge here so it'll look like that. and then you'll turn it and do the other side. cut on your score lines. So now when you fold them, and I always glue this part, you will fold this piece in, and this piece will get glued to the box to make the lid. And I always use Scotch glue. And I'm going to glue my lid, and all I do is I put a nice amount of glue on that little folded flat piece. And I fold it over, I glue it together, making sure everything lines up, and I just hold it in place for a couple minutes. This is Scotch quick dry adhesive. This is what I recommend for this step. And like with my base, I always reinforce my lid too. You don't have to. I just like to line the inside of it. I think it looks nicer and it makes it much more finished looking when you're done. And just continue till you get all four of your sides glued down. And there you have your lid for your box. It fits very nicely. This is a little loose, but like I said, I line the inside of it. So then when you take your box apart, it's going to fall open. So the next step will be to make the cake for the inside of the box. And I cut 4 3-inch circles. This one I already glued together. This one, I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. And then I also took 1.5 by 10-inch strip of paper, and I'm going to create a cylinder with that. You're going to want to fold it over about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. What I do is I kind of line it up with my circle. I want a little bit of an overhang so it's going to glue together okay. And then I'll adhere my glue. So I'm placing the glue there. I'm going to roll it over like a cylinder and glue that together. This is probably the hardest part of the whole card. And I'll go back in and see how that's going to work out. Like I said, you want it to overhang a little bit so it'll be easier to create the cylinder. If you get a little bit of glue on this, don't worry about it. You can, I'm probably going to go in and put a piece of my pattern paper over this. And I'm going to decorate it up a little bit too, so it's going to look different. So if you get a little bit of glue on this, don't worry about it. You can fix it. And then the next thing I do is I just place some glue around this base. And then make sure I get my cardstock in all the glue so it's gonna hold on there okay. And I just glue this cylinder onto this base. I'm gonna I fuss with it a little bit so I get it centered on the base as much as possible. Like I said, you're going to decorate it up a bit, so this doesn't have to be perfect. And if I see any place where I need more glue, I'll put it around the inside of this base. So it's going to be adhered on here, really nice strong bond. Then we'll do the same thing for the top. And this is, like I said, this is the hardest part of the card, and this takes the longest to dry. And there you have it. This will be your cake box. And now I'll just decorate it and embellish it, and it makes an adorable card. People love getting these cards. I've made quite a few of them, and they absolutely love them. There you have it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, thanks and happy scrapping.